Oh guys, what's up? It's your boy Mr. Maximum here today with a new video on this amazing website called YouTube. Did you miss me? I missed you too. I missed you too, thank you. So, I know I haven't really been uploading. Thing is, I am just very busy and I have a lot of school things to do. But anyway, today I wanted to make a very special video. As you quite know, we are at the end of 2019. What did 2019 bring us? Some amazing good video games. And I had the amazing idea, well, it was not my own idea, I just saw it from other people's videos, but I wanted to make a top 10 game of the decade video. So we are going to look at this decade's most impressive video games, at least my own favorite ones. There are a few disclaimers here and a few rules that I want to make clear in for this video. So the first rule is a bit the same as the Game of the Year video. It has to be played by me, and if I haven't played the game, I cannot place it on this list. A good example would be Divinity Original Sin 2. That's a very popular RPG, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't place it here because I don't know if it's good, basically. The second rule is that the game needed to release in between 2010 and 2019. Everything outside of this span of years, you know, because it's this decade, you know, doesn't count. So for instance, Cyberpunk comes out in 2020, that's not, you know, counted for this decade, that's counted for the next decade. As you quite have guessed, the thing is, this decade almost exists in two generations. Most of it is PS4 and Xbox One generation games, but there are also some Xbox 360 generation games, because the Xbox 360 generation also slipped a bit in 2010, 11 and 12. So there are some games from that generation on this list. I think no remasters are allowed. Yeah, no remasters, or probably they will be the original version. But I will count it as the original version. There can only be remakes if they change the game up significantly, so that it's not anymore the original one. So that's the only way remakes can come onto this list. So let's start. But before I'm coming to my top 10, I actually have played so many fucking games in my life that a top 10 is a bit too small. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you first 15 other games. So I basically have a list of top 25 games from number 25 till 10. I will just go rapidly through them. I'm not going to talk in depth about them, but I will show them here, and then from number 10 I will go in depth in every game. So let's start.
friends need to—
We're not druids, Mom! We're fucking warriors and wizards!
So, the first game of our top 10 game of the decade list goes to God of War for the PS4. Jesus Christ, this game is a masterpiece. If you haven't played it yet, I really suggest you should. It's one of the best PlayStation exclusives out there, maybe next to Last of Us and Persona 5. The thing is, this new God of War is done in a new way from the original trilogy, and I like it. It is very immersive, it has some very amazing combat. Even though that it became an over-the-shoulder game, the combat is still fucking gruesome and has a lot of feedback and weight to it. Now, the combat is not the only amazing thing about the game. The graphics, it's one of the best looking PS4 games out there. And the story, of course, it is amazing as well. The characters, especially how Kratos and his son has this banter while you're exploring the, let's say, ish open world. It's not really an open world game, it's a very linear game. Don't go in this mindset that it is an open world, because it is a very linear game. But I have no problems with linear games whatsoever if their gameplay is amazing and if their story is amazing. And that is the case with this game. God of War is just such a high quality title, and the boss fights, my mother of holy nipples. The boss fights in this game are amazing. The very first boss fight. I also placed God of War in my top 10 last year on second place. Yeah. And it had a 10 out of 10. So basically there are only going to be 10 out of 10 games on this list, because I've played so many games and I have given a few 10s here and there to amazing titles. You can only expect probably the best here on this top 10. And God of War deserves its spot for this decade's best games of this decade. Congratulations, God of War. And I hope they will make a sequel fast on PlayStation 5. I can't wait. There are no other games like Zelda Breath of the Wild. The thing about Zelda Breath of the Wild is that it is Nintendo's first try at an open world, and that it succeeds so well is mind-blowing. Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the best open world games of this decade. It is free as shit. You can do anything you want. You see a mountain over there, you can go to that mountain and climb it. And you know, it's a la Skyrim a bit, you know, but holy damn does it work, and is it just fun. The gameplay is probably the best part of the game. It's 10 out of 10. It's so immersive, everything in the world reacts to you. So if, for instance, if you are walking in tall grass and you swing fire, the tall grass will just go on fire. There are physics in play, and if you wear something metallic, like a sword, and it's going to rain outside with thunder, the thunder can hit you because you're wearing metal. That is pretty amazing, you have to admit that. And the lore of Breath of the Wild is amazing. The villages, how they are created, and the art style, I love it. Graphically, the game also, for a Switch game, you know, looks amazing. And for a Switch game that is not that much, you know, the Switch is not the most powerful console in the world. But that it handles such a nice color palette and shit like that, it's amazing. So graphically, I don't really have to complain about Zelda Breath of the Wild. Maybe the most weakest thing about Zelda Breath of the Wild is its story. Now, it's not bad per se, but it's serviceable. You know, you have these flashbacks about Zelda. I am more a fan of the traditional storytelling and the traditional dungeons. That was also a little complaint I had for Breath of the Wild. You know, those beasts dungeons are very cool, but I like the more traditional dungeons of Ocarina of Time. If you would like have a Ocarina of Time game with the open world of Breath of the Wild, then that would blow my mind, and that would automatically be the best Nintendo game ever made. That's no competition almost. But Breath of the Wild, for what it is, you know, what we got, it is freaking amazing, and it needed to have a spot on my top 10 for best games of this decade. The thing is, journalists, a lot of journalists say that this is one of the best games ever made. It is a masterpiece game, yes, but there are some other games that came out this decade that are, in my opinion, just that are a bit better, but still a 10 out of 10 masterpiece it is, and it deserves the spot on this list. For the next game, we're going a bit into memory lane, and we're going all the way back to 2010, the first year of the decade, the new decade. So we are going to look at an Xbox 360 game. Yes, Max, an Xbox 360 game. It just feels fucking old now. But one of the best Xbox 360 games, in my opinion, still to this day, is Halo Reach. Halo Reach is one of the best Halo games I have ever played. Now, not to say that the mainline Halo games like 1, 2 and 3 are bad. No way. I love the original trilogy, I love Master Chief and shit like that. But Halo Reach, on its own, as a spin-off game, is one of the best spin-off games I've ever played. And with its self-containing story, it is just amazing. It's a very cool shooter as well. The multiplayer in Halo Reach is, in my opinion, very underrated. I just loved when I was building maps with my stepbrother Baruch, and we would just make maps and we would just shoot each other and place things in the map. It was so much fun. Just was fun. And a good story for it to boot. You know, Halo always had a good story. Well, up until Halo 5. Even Halo 4 was okay, but 5 was... But Halo Reach, back in the good old days of Bungie, when Bungie was good, and when I had an Xbox 360, Halo Reach is one of my favorite shooters of all time. And I needed to put this in my top 10 of the decade videos. Especially that because it's released in 2010, so it counts. Yeah, Halo Reach. If you have never played it, I really suggest you do. It's also, I think, available on PC, so there are pretty much no excuses anymore. And you can also play it on Xbox One by backwards compatibility, and also with the, I think, the Master Chief Collection as well. So check that out, Halo Reach. Now I want to go to the best PlayStation exclusive ever made. Well, at least by a PlayStation studio, because there is one technically PlayStation exclusive that is even higher on this list. Not going to spoil which one it is, but Last of Us is just probably the best PlayStation studio based game made by a PlayStation studio ever. It's about a zombie apocalypse, and it's not really a typical zombie game. It has a very, very strong story with very, very strong characters. I fucking love Joel, I fucking love Ellie, and they are going to make a second one, which I am very fucking happy with. The Last of Us is a very slow, well, it's not, the gameplay is a bit on the slow side, because you are a bit in survival mode and picking things. I think Last of Us also was one of the first games that had this mobile edge crafting system. And for a linear game, well, there are of course now a lot of crafting systems in survival games and shit like that. But The Last of Us did it, I think, first for a really narrative-based game. And the thing is, the game is so cinematic and so good in story. When it comes to the gameplay, it's good as well. Maybe the shooting is not the best. It's not a shooter, you know. It's serviceable, and it does its job basically. But The Last of Us is also very strong. Is its characters and enemy design. Its enemy design, the clickers, man. Those things are fucking scary as shit. Don't play this game at night. It's just a suggestion, for me, you need to be a mad lad. I did that, and that was pretty scary. And it's not really even a horror game per se. It's more like a survival horror. It's not in-your-face horror. It's the atmosphere that makes you a bit more scared than just raw jump scares, you know. The Last of Us deserves a place on this list as best games of this decade. If you have never played it, what the fuck is wrong with you? As you guys all know, one of my most favorite franchises is Kingdom Hearts. And as you maybe can guess, on the 6th place I have Kingdom Hearts 3. Maybe I will get some shit for this and in the comment section, like, how can you, Kingdom Hearts is a good game, but it's not as good blah 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 as everyone says, blah blah blah. It has flaws, blah blah blah. Fuck you, okay? The thing is, I think, in my opinion, Kingdom Hearts 3 is just as good as 1 and 2. And I gave like 1 and 10 and 2 and 10, so 3 is a 10 as well. The only downside with Kingdom Hearts 3 is that there are not a lot of Final Fantasy characters. Luckily, there's a DLC coming for for Kingdom Hearts 3, and that is Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, and there are actually going to be Final Fantasy characters in there. So the DLC is going to fix some problems that the main game had. The thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 is just the connection you have with Donald and Goofy and the banter, character banter again, is what I love. It's so charismatic, and you don't see that everywhere. You know, it's special. Something special about it. Also, is very cool about Kingdom Hearts 3 is its level design. You go from world to world, and all these levels are so different from each other. A lot of games tend to have the same level design and colors, and sometimes I get a bit sick of that. When you play Kingdom Hearts, you have a lot of variety. And oh my damnly Jesus nipples, the soundtrack of Kingdom Hearts 3 is God tier. I'm going to go in a rant now, but that it even didn't win with the Game Awards for best soundtrack is just. I know Death Stranding won that, and Death Stranding, don't get me wrong, has a nice soundtrack as well, but Kingdom Hearts 3's soundtrack is like that. It's masterful even, and the boss fights. Kingdom Hearts always does have amazing boss fights. The final boss fight of Kingdom Hearts 3 is literally something that comes out of my dreams, that I had in my head on how it would look like, and that the real thing is so close to my dreams is amazing. I didn't thought it would happen like that. Yes, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not perfect, but to be honest, a lot of 10 out of 10 games I have are not like perfect. The word perfect does not exist to any game. There is almost no perfect game. Even like something like The Witcher 3, I almost think a game is perfect, but there are even some slight things about Witcher 3 that I don't think is perfect. But Kingdom Hearts 3 deserves a place in my top 10 best of this decade. Okay, so for the next entry I am a bit cheating. I am going to put 2 games on this list. Yes, I know, don't murder me in the comment section. Let me explain. So, Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 from the same franchise. The thing is, Red Dead Redemption 1 is one of the most iconic open world video games now ever made, and it's probably the best Western game ever made, because, well, there aren't a lot of Western games out there. And the sequel, Red Dead Redemption 2, is just as good, even in some places better. When it comes to story, pure story, when I'm talking about script, you know. And the main protagonist, I think I still, for main protagonist, I still enjoy John a bit more than Arthur, but Arthur is also amazing, so I don't have any complaints whatsoever. The open world in Red Dead Redemption 2 is innovating. There is really nothing like it in this type of detail, except for maybe Witcher 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn. It is just masterclass of video game making. Yes, I know that Red Dead Redemption has clunky controls, but are you really going to complain about that now? Because I think you guys are a bit of hypocrites on that front. Rockstar fashion controls have always been this way. Why didn't we complain about it with GTA 5 or with GTA 4 for that instance? Or the original Red Dead Redemption? So I'm not going to complain about that now, and it doesn't detract from the score from a 10 out of 10. Yeah, gameplay is amazing. Well, story is the best thing about the game, and then the graphics, yeah, that graphics like that are even possible on the PS4 is just an achievement. I think it is. it is graphically so high demanding, and it just looks amazingly beautiful. So Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are both on the same scale on 5. I don't really think that one is better than the other. Maybe 2 I prefer to a little slightly bit, just a little, just for the ending and the post game maybe. That's the only reason I would put 2 above 1. But that's my opinion. So let's go to the next one. Now, number 4 is a very special one to my heart. Persona 5. You get it, like Phantom Thieves of Heart here. So Persona 5 is the, let me say this clearly that everyone hears it here, you know, is the best JRPG I've ever played. Even not the decade, like best JRPG ever. There are a few games that come close, like Final Fantasy VII, the original. I finally played Final Fantasy VII, the original, but it is a bit too old. I hope the remake is going to be as good as the original one. Just like Persona 5 is very unique in first regard. The story is just the characters are Ryuji. My man Ryuji is my real life friend from now on. Going to upset some people. But the thing is, the characters in Persona 5, how they are written and how they interact with each other is just alive. It feels, I don't want to say real, but it feels like my real friends would talk to each other. You know, it's like they studied people from my age, and like this is how we talk to each other. Persona 5 is really good at that. The RPG mechanics, of course, are fucking amazing and totally not traditional. It's new, but the thing is, I'm also new to Persona's kind of management system and shit like that. So I am more impressed by that. Maybe hardcore Persona fans aren't as impressed as I am. That the story is 100 hours long is maybe a bit of a negative, that it's a bit too long, but I don't care, it's so good. This game is so fucking addicting. I was afraid to play it the second time. It has a lot of replayability as well. And Persona 5 Royal is coming out next year in 2020 with extra content, and that's going to be an even longer game. And that game, Persona 5, was just calling to me like, Max, play me. It's very creepy, I can tell you that. So the thing is, Persona 5 is just amazing. It's one of the best JRPGs ever. If you haven't played it, sir, you are fucking stupid and stinky. Well, if you don't enjoy Japanese style games, then I guess you don't really have to play it. But even if you don't like Japanese style games, try it, because it is the best in its genre, and you should, maybe you do enjoy it. You don't know, you know. And also the graphics, I haven't talked about graphics. Graphically, it's not that impressive because it's all a bit cartoonish in the same art style, but just it is Persona 5 is style, it is aesthetics, and it's not for nothing, you know, there is a reason why it's my game of the year of 2017, I think. And it's just an amazing game. Yeah, I have no other words for it. Persona 5. Also the soundtrack is amazing. Hands down for the soundtrack, amazing. Now we are in the top 3, and I'm going to talk about the best PlayStation 4 game you can buy. It's not an exclusive. The best game of this generation, basically, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Witcher 3. I love Witcher 3, as you guys maybe know. The open world innovates here again, and with it's such a good story that Witcher 3 has. The characters are amazing, but if you don't know Witcher 3 by now, I mean, are you living under a rock or something? Jesus Christ. But Witcher 3 has amazing lore as well. I love worlds with good lore, and Witcher 3 delivers that. The main protagonist, Geralt, is also one of my favorite protagonists now ever. He's so sassy and sarcastic and robotic at first, that he doesn't have emotions because he's a Witcher, and he still manages to be likable. It's amazing. The characters, side characters as well, like Ciri is a very amazing character, Dandelion, and my babe Triss. You know, Witcher 3 also has amazing gameplay. The combat is easy, it does its job. It's not like the best combat ever, but it is flashy and it does its job well. The only downside I have with Witcher 3 is probably its skill tree. It's a bit basic playing, and then how it works is not very convenient, but that's basically the only negative I have with Witcher 3. All the side quests are original. The side quests are the best thing of Witcher 3. It's like every side quest is important. Almost every side quest. Not a lot of games can pull that off in the RPG space, so hats off to CG Projekt Red. I'm really looking forward to Cyberpunk. Witcher 3, yeah, that's a well-deserved third place here for best games of the decade. There are two games that I thought are a bit more innovative and just a slightly better even. And they are both from the Xbox 360 area. So, my second favorite game of this decade is GTA 5. Maybe that's not a surprise to everyone, because GTA 5 is a very well-known game. If you don't know GTA 5, you are literally living under a rock. The most casual dude on this planet has GTA 5. I mean, my mother even would get GTA 5. The thing is, GTA 5 has such an amazing story. I do hear a lot of people say that the story wasn't as great as 4, but this is all my opinion, guys. I think 5 is, I like it more, just because of 3 characters with such, again, good banter to each other and conversations, and it's so in-depth. You know, have you ever seen Trevor, Michael and Franklin arguing with each other? It's fucking amazing, I can tell you that. And some of the side quests and GTA 5 as well are amazing. The thing is, I thought GTA 5 just revolutionized upon the open world genre again, but then with a very good story. It's not as free as other open world games like Zelda or Skyrim, or some degree even Witcher, but GTA 5 has a very good narrative and pacing and just feels good. I don't know how to describe it. It's polished to the T. Let's leave it at that, you know. There are a lot of vehicles you can drive in, cars and planes, and you know, that's pretty common in the GTA games. And the graphics for the time of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 were very good. Not a surprise that they remastered that basically for 4. I think it was meant to release for both consoles, so that Rockstar just can make more money. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, the online thing though, of GTA Online, that I don't care about that. I'm just purely talking about the single player. The whole online shit is just an extra for me, you know. I just love and enjoy the single player part of GTA 5 a lot, and it's a masterpiece of a game. I don't know how to describe it even further. Yeah, it's, if you love crime games and open world games with a good story and characters, just play GTA 5. I think you already have played GTA 5 at this point, right? The #1 game of this decade, of 10 years of video games, is the open world game Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls 5. As you guys know, I love Skyrim. Skyrim is also maybe a bit nostalgic, because it's one of the first open world games I've ever played on when I had for the first time an Xbox 360. It came very late in the Xbox 360 generation in 2011. I was obsessed with that game for a long time. I don't want to say addicted-ish, you know, how I'm not really a guy that gets addicted to something very quick. But Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim is a masterpiece of a game. And the thing is, Skyrim has so many flaws. I will admit that. Skyrim has the most buggy ass NPCs there are in games, and the story is not a masterpiece or something like that. Well, it is good-ish, but the thing about Skyrim is its world. Its world and its lore shape the whole game, and they just fling the negatives out like it's nothing. I don't know how it does that, but the sheer freedom and lore in this game is, it's like it was specially made for me or something. I don't know what it is. I love the Nordic culture as well. Gameplay wise, this game is so good. I know a lot of people hate the combat, but I really actually like it. For a first person game that was like what it could do in the technology of the 360 and PlayStation 3 for an open world RPG, it was pretty good in my opinion. But just the sheer amount of gameplay details. In which other game can you just put a bucket, like take a bucket and put it on someone's head and then just steal everything from the shop? I have never seen a game like that.
Pig-headed brother. You're a strapping young man. Don't be You're not from around here. That makes two of us.
Maybe you're looking for something particular.
Zelda Breath of the Wild could come close with that kind of detail, but there are not a lot of games that do that kind of detail. One of the best things about Skyrim as well is its leveling system and its skill tree. Holy mother of God, that is one of the most beautiful skill trees I have ever seen in my life. Also, the leveling system is just very natural. When you swing your sword, you will increase your sword skills. If you cast fire, you will increase your magic skills. And they took that idea, I think, also to Fallout. I'm not sure about that, to Fallout 4. I just love this leveling system. It's not too restrictive, and you can switch on the fly for which class you want. But of course you're going to be stronger in that class that you have trained in. So it's a bit of a risk if you change playstyle. And you are just free. This game is pure the definition of freedom, almost. I know it's cliche, like you see, I already fucking hear Todd Howard saying it in my head. There is a mountain over there, you can go there. But it's true. And you can stand on that mountain and look over the mountain, and just how the game is designed with the snow and the architecture of the buildings. I have a weird niche in me that I like good architecture, buildings and atmosphere. Skyrim is just a very special game for me. Maybe also a bit nostalgia, but there is just not one open world game that replicates its freedom in an RPG setting. Zelda Breath of the Wild though comes very close, but it's not an RPG, and the story of Zelda is Breath of the Wild with the cutscenes is not really my thing. So that is it for this video. My favorite game of this decade is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. What is your favorite game of this decade? Let me know in the comment section below, because I really want to hear it. Why? Maybe we can have a discussion. I will try to upload more videos. Try. I can't promise anything. So bye.